All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Everything NYJ podcast. I am Liam. I am your host, riding solo tonight. Sorry for none of the technical glitz and glams that we're used to seeing. That's all Italy Jet. Italy Jet is so disgusted. He's not even doing a show tonight. Just kidding. Italy Jet has a couple things going on, so I'm going to be riding solo. If anybody wants to hop on, I will be posting the link. Pull it up here. I'll throw it in the chat if anybody wants to come on, talk Jets for a couple minutes. Anybody wants to get their frustrations out, now would be the time to do so. All right, it's in there. Oh, so I just want to come on here for a couple minutes and just, I guess, kind of vent because the New York Jets had a chance to do something special. Everybody thought that their season was dead a couple weeks ago. Matthias, I'm in. Yeah, I mean, welcome. Thank you for joining, Matthias. I appreciate it. This game just really bumps us out because, like I was saying, everybody thought that our season was dead a couple weeks ago, and well, in reality, it was. It really was. And then we had a chance. That's the thing that sucks is that we had a chance. Nobody, myself included, predicted us to beat the Houston Texans. And there was a small glimmer of hope that, yeah, maybe, just maybe, we could do something here. And once again, what's going on, Dan? Nothing but negativity here in Jetland, you know how it is. It's we had a chance to do something pretty special, and we failed. In embarrassing fashion, no less. Embarrassing fashion. 30-0. It's crazy that we could put up 30 points in one half. And then the following week, we give up 30 points to nothing. The Jets, they find ways to embarrass themselves. And the truth of the matter is, nobody wants to say this is not a good football team. They have really good pieces. They have really good players. They have a lot more talent. They shouldn't be losing 30-0. The offense shouldn't be as bad as it is. And we all thought that it was working. Coming out of that Texans game, there was so much positivity around the team. Now, sure, you had your crowd that said, "Oh, they should just lose out for the draft pick." I don't care about the draft pick anymore. I really don't. I don't. If you need to have a top 5 to top 10 draft pick in order to be a successful general manager, then that's an indictment on you, and you should be out of here too, Joe Douglas. This is his 4th year, and we're regressing. We're going backwards. At least last year. Now, look, last year we didn't win a game in December, but we had meaningful games in December. Now, here we are in December. There was a meaningful game, somewhat. You needed a lot to go right, including us winning out, and then you needed a lot of help. And anytime that the stakes are high, anytime where the Jets have a meaningful game, when they have something to play for, it never fails. They always lose. But when there's nothing to play for, when the pressure's off, yeah, they'll hang with the Kansas City Chiefs. Sure, they'll beat the Buffalo Bills week 1. They'll beat the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time in franchise history. But anytime that there's a little bit of pressure, the team does not show up for Robert Saleh. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it right now, he should be gone. It's something that I've kind of been teeter-tottering back and forth with, and I didn't really want to say it because it didn't really ever feel appropriate, even though there has been some times. But yeah, 16-32, the team once again not showing up, looking uncoached, unprepared. Yeah, that's an indictment on the coaching staff. Let's read some comments here. Matthias says, "Look, they conned us into believing that we were somehow a team that would go to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. But that was wrong. Even if you didn't get hurt with this O-line, we wouldn't. Dan says, "Preach, brother." Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so much that this team needs. I'm more in the boat. Like I'm not gonna say Super Bowl, but I'm more in the boat that if Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt week one, he would have been hurt by now anyway. The way that these offensive line is playing. This coaching staff is horrible, and Joe Douglas start the rebuild. Joe Douglas, if you really want to start the rebuild, he should be out the door too. Has he done some good things? Yeah, sure. But Mike McCagnon also did a couple good things. Is it necessarily fair to compare the two? No. But at the same time, this is his fourth year, and this team is terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's unacceptable. It took the Detroit Lions 2 years. That's the perfect example right there. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. James Thompson says, "I'm so tired of this team, 30 years with the same shit, just different coaches and GMs." Yeah, I really feel for the older fans. That's who I feel for. But on the other hand, I feel for the younger fans that are younger than me. I'm 24 because I feel like I was really like the last age group, maybe give a year or 2 maybe, that remember the last time the Jets were in the playoffs. I was in 6th grade. It's crazy. Joe says, "You trade down and draft quarterback, 3 O-line, and a wide receiver." But where are we drafting this quarterback? In the 1st round? Trade down to like I get it. I kinda like, I see both sides with this quarterback argument, but do you really want this coaching staff to try to coach up a different quarterback, to ruin a different quarterback? They failed Zach Wilson, or maybe Zach Wilson failed us as well. James Morgan, remember him? 2020? What's a bigger disappointment, him or Hackenberg? Same thing. Matthias says, "I was 13 years old when I saw the Super Bowl. It was a lifetime ago." Yeah, I'm sorry that you've been doing this ever since, and you've gotten no return on your investment. This is pathetic. It really is. Milk D 109 Lib. I'm sure I'm saying that right. Maybe, maybe not. We could draft Dion's son in the 3rd round. Yeah, we could do that. JJ McCarthy at 20 would be a safe pick. Yeah, I have no faith in this coaching staff. They said that they were a quarterback away, but they also never developed a quarterback. We were one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time away. And even Aaron Rodgers on the sideline shaking his head. There has to be some changes made. I'm so sick and tired of the narrative. You can't get rid of anybody because of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is on the sideline shaking his head. What is the motive for bringing these guys back? Aaron Rodgers sees it. His face says it all. These guys deserve another shot. Any other year, any other year, any other team, this coaching staff would be fired. We saw it with the Raiders. We saw it with the Chargers. It's okay to fire coaches. And I feel like we're so obligated to say, yeah, Robert Saleh is a nice guy, and he is a nice guy. I would hang out with Robert Saleh, play a round of golf with him. He seems like a nice guy. I'd catch a workout with him. But on the other hand, he's not a very good football coach. He's a leader of men. That sounds great in theory until it comes time where the pressure is on. It's on a big stage. Would you trust Robert Saleh in the Super Bowl? No. I don't have a perfect example of a guy that should be coming in. I mean, maybe you wanna argue Mike Tomlin. I don't think that's realistic, but that's something that could be fun for the offseason. Maybe it becomes more realistic. Harbaugh, that's awesome. I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. Let's get back to some comments here. Matthias says, "The only way we take a quarterback is if we have a new general manager and QB." I think he meant to say coach, but yeah, bingo. And coach, yep, sorry. Draft a quarterback, 6th round. Oh, draft a quarterback, 6th round, 1 round is not guaranteed to be good. Sal and the offensive coaching staff are horrible. Yeah, they are. And somebody's head is gonna have to roll, if not all of them. I prefer Mike LaFleur over Nathaniel Hackett. I can call the plays. I can call the plays. First down is always going to be a run to Breece Hall or Dalvin Cook. And I'm so over Dalvin Cook. They brought in Izzy Abataconda in garbage time again. And I even tweeted that. If you guys follow the Everything NYJ podcast on Twitter at Everything NYJ, cheap plug there, that I said, hey, it's Izzy garbage time because that's the only time they use the kid. God forbid he shows you something, right? Now that these are meaningless games, Breece Hall and Izzy. No more Dalvin Cook. I'm over it. I don't want to see Dalvin Cook at all anymore. It's a failed experiment. It sucks. It is what it is. Move on. Cut your losses. Something that the New York Jets don't know how to do. Cut your losses. When something isn't working, move on to the next. Hey, newsflash, Woody Johnson, you can do that. You can do that. Joe says Jets Chaos put out a video. Oh, here it is. Oh. How the Jets can build a championship roster. Watch it. I'll have to check that out later. The coaching staff will never make it here. GM also, they will never win here. It's starting to look that way. Abby, what's going on? She says, at least we're headed in the right direction. We are the hottest team right now for a coach looking for a team. This will be a prime destination. We're almost there. What is the selling point, Abby? And I'm not trying to pick on it, but I want to know, what is the selling point? You get Aaron Rodgers for a year, and then what? Because, newsflash, the second that Aaron Rodgers is gone, then we're blowing this whole thing up. And it's going to be at a point where, in theory, we shouldn't have a top 10 draft pick if we're doing things the way that it should be going. Abby, we're almost there. We have a good defense. That's about it. And even our defense gave up 30 points, and they're starting to get sick and tired of it too. I mean, they didn't look great yesterday either. Sauce and DJ Reed, they got burnt. Whitehead got burnt. A couple penalties here and there. I think that was Tony Adams with that stupid penalty. Give them a free 15 yards. Matthias says, here's what I do if I'm the Steelers. Let Tomlin go. I'm backing up the truck for him, or if Munkins as head coach. I mean, I wouldn't mind Munkin either. I would stop playing Brees. We know what we have in him. Yeah, I don't want to see Dalvin Cook. We have a solid offense, and when healthy, our offensive line is underrated. Okay, Abby. Okay. Reed got burned. Yes, he did. On spite alone, the Jets will not pick in the top 10. Yeah, the only game that I'm so like not in the mood to be talking draft or looking at mock drafts, and I can't get on the tank train. I'm telling you that right now. The tankathon, I can't do it. She has some interesting opinions at times, but she's a big supporter of the show. We love Abby. It's just yeah, she does have some interesting ones at times. But yeah, I mean, the offensive line was absolutely terrible yesterday. Buddy, you better get in the mood. I can't, man. I mean, well, realistically, the only team left on the schedule that I really want to beat, and I don't care, is the New England Patriots. I really want to beat the Patriots. Commanders, if they lose, like, yeah, whatever, haha, the Jets suck. It's the same thing. I'll drop the link. I'll do that right now for you, Mr. Dan. See if he comes on. Jets have Pittman and maybe Warren on next year's O-line. Everybody other than that needs to go. Other than AVT needs to go. Well, it seems like Lake and Tomlinson will be back. I mean, he hasn't been the worst problem in the offensive line. I'm interested in what I wanna hear what you guys have to say about Mekhi Becton. Should he be coming back? He's been kinda up and down this year. I could be fine not seeing him again, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back. Um, you can't give him a big contract though, that's the whole thing. It's probably gonna be expensive, so I could see Mekhi Becton walking in. He was terrible yesterday, absolutely terrible. The entire offensive line was. So, I don't know what you do with that, but, it's just Becton is not a left tackle, he's a guard. He plays like it. He sure does play like a guard. He's just, like, so big, like, he can't move. I don't know what his problem is. Um, we need to do the the off lines of line left tackle and right guard. Becton with a competent offensive coordinator, keep him. Becton is going speed rushers are killing him. That's the thing. It's like he's so big, like he's just not fast. He's just not fast. I think Mekhi Becton would be a better left guard. And then I guess you could move on from Lake and Tomlinson at that point, but it's year after year. The offensive line kills us, and that's what sucks. And yesterday was no exception. Edge rushers were killing him yesterday. And the whole Zach Wilson injury thing, I mean, yes, he did get his ass kicked out there, and yes, like he hit his head a couple of times. I will admit that, but I don't know. In my opinion, it seems like they're they're just trying to protect his trade value. They knew that he wasn't doing anything out there. Was he playing great? No, but like I said, I also don't think that he had a fair shot yesterday. Yeah, yep, Matthias, that's absolutely right. The offensive line guru. He has put together the worst offensive line in NFL history for the last couple of years, at least in franchise history. This is a really bad offensive line, and that was supposed to be a specialty, and it failed. I don't I don't see us Rodgers winning us a Super Bowl, maybe on or 2 playoff games. I think he means 1 or 2 playoff games. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we need a lot of work. I think our offensive line is fine. We just need better play call. Abby, no, the offensive line is terrible. What did you see good from Zach Wilson, from the offensive line, from Trevor Siemian? They had no time. No, keep Lake in there as a third stringer and put AVT back at left guard and make Mekhi Becton the second string left guard. I don't think you can make Mekhi Becton a backup for the money. I mean, he's a first round draft pick. He's going to be making some big bucks. I don't think you could really afford to do that. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a big contract. I don't really have his contract pulled up right in front of me either, but that'll be something for the offseason. We'll be definitely talking about that. But it's just I don't know. That game just really pissed me off. It really did. Rodgers will be 42 next year off this injury. You better have a real good backup quarterback. Getting the laptop going. All right, Joe. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm just reading another comment here. He might make the big bucks, but he might not be wanted. Somebody out there will take him. Somebody will take him. I think he'll get another shot. He played, I mean, relatively well in a couple of games. Hackett needs to go. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He does need to go. Heads need to roll. We have the biggest playoff drought in North American sports. That's an entire continent. North America as a whole. Not just America, North America as a whole. Bigger than soccer, baseball, basketball, hockey. This is bad. This is terrible. And just to recap this game, Tyreek Hill was out, and it didn't matter. No Tyreek, no problem. We saw Mike White come in. That was just a little jab at us. We were getting worse and worse as the game was going on. We were losing yards as the game was going on. And I'm so sick and tired of this play calling. All these plays are behind the line of scrimmage, and then we get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's like a positive play. That fake punt early on in the game too. That oh my god, what are you doing? Tony Romo even was joking about it right before it happened. And it not even a pass, you just run it right into a bunch of guys. 4th and 4 and you fall down. The play calling here is really bad. Zach might not be here. Zach will not be here next year. Why after this concussion should he still be playing here? We're not getting nothing for Zach Wilson. I don't know. I'm thinking like a 4th or a 5th, probably for Zach. There's some team out there. He'll go be a backup somewhere. Yeah, somebody will take him. Would Becton be worth franchising him and making him a backup or trying to franchise and trade him? Um, I don't know. I really think that he's gone. I don't see him coming back. He's not worth it. He's not gonna be worth the money. And then we're like, what are you franchise tagging him for? 10 million? Is he worth that as a backup? No. You're gonna have to draft some offensive linemen, and that's another thing. It's do you really want as bad as his offensive line is now? Do you really want a 40 to 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers behind a bunch of rookies? Because I don't. We all off season long we were talking about the offensive line. If Mekhi Becton is healthy, if he comes back good, if Dwayne Brown is healthy, if Billy Turner is good. A bunch of ifs. Going into what was supposed to be a championship caliber year, it was what if, what if, what if. And that's a fireable offense. And our spineless owner would rather spend his money on necklaces and everything else rather than putting together a winning organization. I gave him credit. He opened up his wallet. He swung big for Aaron Rodgers. He had no backup plan. That's the problem. We don't even have a second round pick. That's right. We don't. I have a feeling that eventually we will, just knowing how Joe Douglas likes to work his board. If he's still here, which I do think he will be. DJ Reed has allowed a bad game, but which coaches saw that and put sauce on Waddle? Which coach saw that and put that on Waddle? I'm guessing that was Ulbrich. I mean, they don't follow, so they both had a little piece of Waddle. Vinny from the Jet Lounge says, I'm at the point where we need to blow it all up. Rodgers can go too. Reality is no one expects the Jets to win next year with a 41-year-old coming off of injury. They're not moving on from Rodgers, dude. I'll tell you that right now. I'm at the point too where like I'm willing to blow it up. I'm not afraid of that either. But I don't. Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. And I don't want him to. I like Aaron Rodgers. I want Aaron Rodgers to play. I want to see him play. Why didn't they double Waddle? Because it makes no sense. That's why. It would make too much sense, is what I'm trying to say. The coaching staff doesn't make any sense. It's pathetic. It really is, man. This coaching staff it needs to go. It needs to go. It's at the point where it needs to go. There are a lot of tackles and guards in free agency that will not cost us huge amounts of money and will be good pickups. Also, this draft is beautifully heavy on offensive linemen. Yeah, you got to draft. You got to go heavy on the offense. There's no way we're getting a 4th or a 5th, maybe a late 6th or 7th. I don't know, man. I mean, we got a 6th for Blake Cashman. We got a 2 and a 4 for Sam Darnold. Vinny is correct. Clean house. Yeah, I agree too. I'm there too. GVH. Mekhi views himself as a big money investment. For the right price, he stays and plays wherever we say. I don't know. I mean, for the right price, yeah, sure. Vinny says Salah has no balls. We need Jim Harbaugh, Fancy to start flying planes over Florham Park again. Who's with me? Yeah, I'd be so down for Jim Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin. Those seem to be like the two names that I'm looking at. If Mike Tomlin does become a reality, I'd take him. No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the man, the myth, the legend in the house.
Let's get
Woo!
this shit going, baby.
Here we go. Dan is in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, baby? Awesome show as always. Now, it's not time to talk draft. That was last week. Last week, if we would have lost against the Texans, you know what? Tankathon, baby. They always figure out a way how to mess things up. They can't even lose correctly. Like, we can go back to, 2020. We had no business beating the Rams or the Browns. Could have had a shot at freaking Trevor Lawrence. Nope. For the feel-good fans, we had to win those games because, there's a common narrative that when you win the year before, it kind of brings that momentum into next year, which it never materializes. We messed that up. Now, last, what is it, yesterday, it manifests itself again. The Jets suck, and it starts with Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. At what point will Woody Johnson say, okay, you know what? That's the prime definition of insanity, if you think about it. Doing the same shit over and over, thinking that you're going to have a different outcome at the end of the day. What? We just think as fans that next year in 2024, insert Rodgers, and Rodgers is going to fix stupid? He's not. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a change. I know everyone thinks that it's not, that we're going to bring the whole game back. No way. Honestly, I think if, like Vinny said, and we had been dialoguing this for a very long time, if there's a chance that Jim Harbaugh is available, Woody's going to throw everything at him. Because if you look at the other veteran quarterbacks, Hall of Famers that have gone to other teams and won Super Bowls, say Peyton Manning, jumping ship from Indianapolis, going to Denver. He didn't win with some unknown coach. He won with Kubiak, someone who has been there with head coach experience. Yes, he didn't win shit with the Houston Texans, but he had that acumen, knowing how to be a head coach. Then Tom Brady goes to the Buccaneers in 1 year with a proven, solid head coach in Bruce Arians, who Bruce Arians tried to kind of push his offensive style on Tom Brady, but that's what a head coach is. The head coach is like, all right, you know what? This isn't working. Let's try your style. And it's mix and match. Saleh, Aaron Rodgers is going to walk all over him, just like he would
already has
over Hackett. Even Hackett. Yep. Honestly, we would have never even thought of Nathaniel Hackett. Why? Because he was the offensive coordinator in Jacksonville with Blake Bortles. Give me a break. Dude, this season, I look at it as silver linings because it showcased and unraveled what kind of head coach we have, what kind of offensive coordinator we have when everything's not running on all 8 cylinders. All right, fast forward to 2024. God forbid Aaron Rodgers goes down. Do you actually expect something different with Hackett?
Nope.
No. Let's put something in perspective. And I'm sorry that I'm going off on a little tangent here.
Take your time.
As a GM, knowing that your offensive line is in shambles, don't you want to go into maybe a trade scenario and trade for someone that's maybe mobile? Maybe someone that could roll out a quarterback that sees if there's danger, just run it up. Zach don't got that anymore. Because we had offensive coordinators that did not know how to use his skill set. But you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Zach ain't it. He never was. Even from day one, yes, he was placed in a really bad position. Yes, when the late Greg Knapp passed away, we didn't supplant that with a real good quarterback coach. We didn't. But again, when Mike White came in for an injured Zach Wilson, shit, it worked, right? Yo, dude, the guy threw for over 400 yards in his first career start. meaning that there is something off with Zach. Now, yesterday, offensive line, it's shit. But again, the most Jets-esque thing to do right now is to clear Aaron Rodgers. There's reports all over the media that he is pushing to play this week. So if something happens to Aaron Rodgers, that's on him. That's on Woody Johnson. And he kind of held this franchise kind of hostage. So whatever he wants goes, getting Randall Cobb, getting Turner, getting all these expats, Hackett. Yes, I get it. We signed Hackett first, but that was like the first domino to fall, right? So the Green Bay Jets, dude, at what point can we bring in a legitimate head coach that says, all right, let's do things the right way, just like Bill Parcells did in 97. There is some structure to be said when you have a legitimate head coach, not a first-timer. Can we put the Ben Johnsons to bed? I get it. He's the new hot commodity, just like Eric Bieniemy was. I get it.
Yep.
But not with Aaron Rodgers. See, if you have Aaron Rodgers, you're committed with him. It's a Super Bowl window, not a playoff window. Super Bowl. So you want to get the right guy in here. One of the guys, not John Gruden, it's which I would actually like. But unfortunately, if you think about it, that would be the quintessential move. If you think about it, think. Yep. When he went to Tampa Bay, everything was set. Everything was kind of on parallel worlds with what we're doing with right now. Top 3 defense, veteran quarterback, no crazy flashy plays just to win the game with a legitimate head coach. But unfortunately, those emails aren't going to fly. So that is scratched off.
Yep.
Now, where do we go? Jim Harbaugh is the one that you swing for the fences at that. You remove Joe Douglas, or you don't even have to remove Joe Douglas if you think about it, because Douglas had a rapport with Jim Harbaugh's brother in Baltimore. So that's kind of like the behind the scenes type of things where not a lot of people think about. There is probably some friendship there, some courtship as well, where Jim might say, all right, you know what? Let me take this Jets job here, because I hate the narrative where people say, why would anyone want to come here? Dude, why would anybody want to go to the Cleveland Browns? Why would anyone want to go to the Arizona Cardinals? Why? Because us Jets fans, we look at it at a certain subjective view of why would they want to come here? Dude, this is fucking New York. You win as a New York Jet head coach, a New York Jet quarterback. You're going to be the Mark Messier of this town for years, for eras. It's posted there. That's why, to me, Jim Harbaugh is a guy that is very competitive. He knows that his brother has something that he does not, and that's a Super Bowl ring, which he beat him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is all set. Forget about San Diego. I'd rather go to San Diego. Herbert is, as much as I like him, why would you choose that? Well, for what? The defense still has to grow. I get it. They got Khalil Mack and all this. But this Jets defense, if you hear me out, you get Wink Martindale in here as defensive. You get Steve Bisciotti, right, from who's really close with Aaron Rodgers as a special teams coach. And Jim Harbaugh, you're telling me that outlook for 2024 doesn't attract fans to the stadium? Tell me for a fact, Liam, let's say if they tell you the whole gang is coming back, are you going to pay anything? What are your expectations for 2024, knowing that Robert Saleh's coming back, Hackett's coming back, everyone's coming back? If I know the answer that you're going to give me, you're going to give it to me, but how do you think Garrett Wilson feels? How Breece Hall feels? They're like, we're going to do this shit again?
I think that there's a part that they know that with Aaron Rodgers coming, I think that they think things will be a little bit different. But Aaron Rodgers isn't a guy that needs coaching. That's the whole thing. It's like we have these young players that need to be coached up. Yes, are they really great prospects? And they're still considered prospects. I mean, Sauce Gardner, he's having a pretty good year. Brees Hall, pretty good year. Garrett Wilson, pretty good year. But they still need that coaching experience.
Right.
They still need that coach to take their game to the next level. I see all the potential. You see all the potential. These could be really great players, but right now they're just good players. And the difference, Robert Saleh says it. He says it all the time. The difference between good players and great players, the difference from A to Z is coaching. And he has done nothing to coach these guys up. We have a question for you, Dan, from Vinny, if I could find the comment here.
Yeah.
Question for Dan. More important to get an offensive mind coach or an established head coach?
The latter, established head coach. Stop it with this one-sided type. I want a straight-up head coach. I want a Mike Tomlin type of guy. I want someone that's already established, someone that has been there, done that. Enough, dude, enough with this nonsense. Milk D thought that I was Vinny. sorry for babbling. The freaking Brownie Bagel jersey. That's how far back I go. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. Unfortunately, that there's nothing new. But unfortunately, the bullshit is that we don't hit rock bottom. It's a bottomless pit. Look at the Miami game, Black Friday. The freaking fail Mary. Who ever expected that shit? Who did that? The game was there. We just intercepted. DJ Reed just did it right before halftime. And then Boyles throws this. Again, Boyles, dude. Come on, man. He has no business having a roster spot in the NFL. None whatsoever. No. But yet, that's Rodgers' boy. That's Rodgers' guy. Like, where's your GM? Where's your head coach? Where's your balls? I don't know.
That's the whole thing. It's like, I get it because, like, I like Aaron, and I'm sure you do too. Like, I want to see him succeed here. And Tom Brady, yes, he brought a couple of his guys down, but they were all proven guys. Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, a couple other guys. Mm-hmm. Those were all his core guys that have had success in the NFL. Randall Cobb had mediocre success. Like, he's decent. Yep. I didn't think he'd be this bad. But you can't just bring all these guys along for a paycheck. Hey, Green Bay, let you go? Okay, I got you. Hey, Green Bay, let you go? Okay, I got you. You come too. It doesn't work that way. And at some point, Joe Douglas needs to grow a set of balls and be like, no, listen, he doesn't fit what we're trying to build here. Aaron, you do. 100%. This is a business. And you're telling me that Aaron Rodgers wants these guys back? How are you going to bat for these guys when he's on the sideline shaking his head saying, oh, my God, you saw him last week talking to Zach. This is fucking terrible, he's saying. Yep. How do you allow this? And how do you voucher for these guys to come back? You can't. Absolutely can't, man.
You cannot. And that's why, honestly, Rodgers wants to win a chip. He wants to win another Super Bowl. And this is, again, something that is probably manifesting. And he's looking at it and saying, all right, dude, this didn't work. My way did not work. I have a funny feeling that he's going to start reaching out to Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. He's going to start picking their brains and say,
he should.
What did you guys do? What did you guys do, man? Because there's an ego involved in all this shit, too. You know, with Rodgers trying to prove the whole world wrong that you can come back from an Achilles injury, which, let me let you guys know, so many NFL players are going to be so pissed if he does. Because now Achilles injuries are not going to be your one-and-done deal where they shelf you. Now GMs will hold you accountable if you pop your Achilles. Because now he sets the standard. GMs are going to say, all right, whatever the running back is or quarterback, call Aaron Rodgers' surgeon. Go through the same steps. We expect you here in the middle of or late December. A lot of players don't want to see Aaron Rodgers come back. We don't want to see him come back because of different circumstances. But Rodgers is doing something enormous, but he has to put his ego to the side, man. Legitimately.
Yeah, he does. Matthias says Tomlin, Harbaugh, if not Munkin. There's another name I want to throw out there. I saw this floating around on Twitter. I don't think it's necessarily realistic. It could be.
Right. Who's that?
Mike McCarthy.
If he gets let go?
Yes.
I'm in, but I don't know. Don't they have
reunite him with Rodgers?
I'm all in, but isn't there like a feud? Wasn't there something going on?
I believe there was, but I don't know. I think he's another one. I think McCarthy could take us all the way. He's not a bad. I mean, it's just he's not great, but he's a lot better than anything we've ever had. We have
Right.
never had, besides outside of Parcells, we have never had that CEO head coach that take no prisoners, my way or the highway kind of guy for
Right.
the right reasons. I mean, we had Adam Gase, who my way or the highway was playing Frank Gore 40 times. I mean, we've had some bad
Yeah.
ones, but
Not a
the
head
coaching,
coach.
it needs to change. This coaching staff needs to change. Yes,
Absolutely.
I mean, what?
Matthias
Go ahead.
brings up a good point, right? Like, yes, we wanted McCarthy over Gase. Shit,
Yes,
like
I did too.
again, the ineptitude of the New York Jets, it's ridiculous. Like they went and they looked at what was the other guy that went to the Panthers? It didn't
Matt Rule.
succeed. Rule. So again, this is the most Jets shit to do. So you tell Matt Rule you could come in as a first-time head coach. So we want you to come in, but we really don't trust your judgment that well. Come in, but Greg Williams has to be your defensive coordinator. Like, how does that make a candidate feel? That's why Matt Rule is like, I'm out of here. That's why someone like Campbell, who is forgot his first name, not Dan Campbell, the guy from Indiana State, I believe, from where Brees Hall came from.
Oh, yes. I know who you're talking. I always call him Coach Campbell.
That guy, again, I would love that, but not now.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
if we're doing a straight up real rebuild, I get it. You know what? Get your guy, no worries. Now, I want to give you a take on this. I want to hear your thoughts on how you would attack this. Let's say we clean house. Obviously, we still keep Rodgers. The whole cleaning house is to win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years, hopefully next year. But it's a move for longevity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we hit a top 4 pick. Would you draft a quarterback or an offensive tackle? Now, I'm throwing quarterback out there because as we Jet fans are, just like with Mark Sanchez, just like with Geno Smith, in Darnold, and Wilson, we want to see them out there week 1. But Aaron Rodgers, having someone like Aaron, it's going to kind of like pump the brakes with us Jet fans to say, not yet. We're going to do things the right way. We're going to have him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for maybe a year or 2, and then we give him the reins. Or will you go all out and let's say Joe Alt is there, and would you take Alt? Oh, we can't get Marvin Harrison, Milk D. We can't. We're out of those sweepstakes. He's going to be drafted 3rd overall. I'm all, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
if you
all
can get
in.
him, I'm going that.
I'm all in on Marvin Harrison, but that ship has sailed. There's no way we got him. No way. No way.
First and foremost, I think you got to address this offensive line. As much as I like the idea of quarterback, it's not impossible to find one in the middle rounds. And I'm almost at the point where I don't even want to draft a quarterback anymore, especially if this is, well, you said cleaning house. I think it kind of depends on who the head coach is. Now, if you're talking somebody, if you want that real CEO type head coach, if we have 2, because we don't have a 2nd round draft pick, if we could either find a way to get a 2nd round draft pick or we have 2 first, then I think you take the offensive lineman first and then you would take quarterback. That's the way I would approach it, at least. And then I would do I would just do offensive lineman. On the other hand, do you really want Aaron Rodgers behind a bunch of rookies? Because I don't.
Nope.
You know?
Not at all.
What do you do? What do you do with Mekhi Becton after this year? I know how you feel about him, but like, what would you? You think so?
Buy selfie in the bathroom. Turnstile left tackle. Bye.
Soon as I said that, as soon as I was like, oh yeah, I'm talking to Dan about this, I knew what you'd say.
You imagine Aaron Rodgers there? Again, he would, let's say if he would have survived the first week, he would have not survived behind this line with Becton as a left tackle.
Yeah.
Becton is, again, yesterday, I'm sorry, maybe your chat's going to get mad at me, but as soon as the game is over, he's walking down the tunnel, laughing it up. Oh, but he's human. Hold on. There's a time and place where you crack a smile. You got your starter killed or whatever the case is, even if he didn't want to come back in and whatnot. One of the worst games you've ever had. Laugh in the locker room. Laugh in the bathroom before you start taking selfies. Don't do it because you know for a fact people are going to misinterpret that. Maybe like me.
Yep.
Maybe I'm misinterpreting it. But it doesn't send the right message. What that message is telling you is that Saleh lost the locker room. There's no accountability. Garrett Wilson is speaking out. The Lizard, who really shouldn't even be talking.
Yeah, he's speaking out. I saw that.
You saw? He said that Miami out-efforted. We've seen this before as NFL fans, as Jets fans. When the beans are just coming out, it's not good. It's not good. In today's presser, you kind of saw that Saleh's probably on the way out. Because you look at Woody Johnson's tenure here as a New York Jet owner, and there have been some firings where you're like, oh, shoot. One in particular is Eric Mangini. You go 9-7 with Brett Favre, and you fire the guy, meaning that no one had any clue what was going on behind the scenes. That's one thing I'll give Woody. That, I get it. Maybe he doesn't even know what the hell's going on, but he might have some shit going on in the background with Jim Harbaugh. You never know. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So, all right, let it play out. Let them self-destruct. But I don't think bringing Steve Bisaccia is the answer. I'm sorry, guys. It's just appeasing the fan base, just like they appeased us putting in Boyle. Oh, get Wilson out. Get Wilson out. Put in Boyles. Oh, boo. Put Simeon in. Put Simeon in. Oh, he sucks. Put Zach back in. So, like, when you see, like, certain things with Joe Beningo talking, which maybe I'm the only one. I loved what he did. I loved that he threw the coach under the bus because he put his fandom first. I get it that, in the media, you need connections. Dude, the guy's like 90 years old on his way out, checking out. He doesn't care anymore. He wants to see the Jets win the Super Bowl. That's what he leaked that out. It is what it is. So at this point, as a head coach of the New York Jets, what are you doing texting Joe Beningo in the middle of the season? That's why the ineptitude starts right there at head coach. As much as Joe Douglas has so much to blame, that's why if he gets the pink slip, it is what it is. But if he's retained, fine. But Saleh cannot be the head man as a head coach here any longer. It's a done deal. Yeah. You can't. You can't. There's no way. And Huff, you got to resign him. You have to. Dude, come on, man.
You do.
How do you let that guy go?
You can't. Now, the question that you asked me earlier, I'll ask you. What would you do?
I would go with Jaden Daniels from LSU. I like the kid. Yeah. I would go quarterback. Again, it's all contingent on who you hire as head coach. If you hire someone like a Bruce Arians, no, then you go offensive tackle because you know for a fact that his window is going to be as close to Aaron Rodgers. Because you don't want to draft a quarterback with like Bruce Arians, and now you have to like shove it down some other potential candidate head coach in 2027 and say, look, we drafted this guy top 5. We would like for you to be our head coach, but as long as you develop this guy, you can't do that. The Jets have to do things the right way, and even when they do shit the right way, it just blows up in our freaking face. Like the whole thing.
There's no right way.
There's no right way. Like. If you think about it, I'm not saying that Sam Darnold was a savior. The guy sucked too. But with that being said, with the number 2 overall draft pick, we should have traded out because that would have gave us at least maybe an additional 2 or 3 first-round picks. Where if Sam Darnold really didn't work out, we would have had that to play with. Look at what the Bears, where they're at right now in next year's draft. Yeah, they keep losing, whatever. They're like in a third. They're what, fourth or fifth, or like
I
fourth or
think they're
fifth, like teetering.
fourth. Yeah,
But they own Carolina's first overall draft pick. So if they want to move on from Justin Fields, they have the luxury to do so. But they're not going to put all their eggs in that one basket with an unknown like Zach Wilson. We all knew that Zach Wilson was a project. It was handled horrifically. And I don't care if he would have shined or what now, how it happened. He had to sit. He was in the same position as Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes. Not saying that he's anywhere close to that, but these are organizations that know what they're doing. The Chiefs and the Ravens. All right, Lamar Jackson, too skinny. We cannot just throw him out there. Let's see what Flacco has. Show him the ropes. Perfect. Mahomes, we're not going to throw him out there. We'll throw him out there probably week 16, week 17, whatever the case is. Alex Smith, show him the ropes. Do what you got to do.
Yep.
No problem. Zach was even more raw than those two. Way raw. There was no way to put him out there. Who was our backup that season? Oh, yeah, it was Mike White.
We had Mike White. I think we also had did we have Flacco at least part of that season?
Did we? I think so. I think so. I think so.
Yeah. We had Josh Johnson at one point too.
Right.
And Mike White. Yeah. Dude, we're really digging. There's been so many quarterbacks. It's ridiculous. I'm at the point where I almost don't want to draft a quarterback. I'm cool with just kind of going with a veteran, just a couple years left. And that I don't know. I mean, you're in a position where this isn't 2020. Like 2020, we knew that Gase was getting fired. We are gonna have a really good draft pick. Like things were better. Right. We are gonna be restarting everything, new team. That's not really the case because of Aaron Rodgers. I'm not complaining about that, but it really depends on how long Aaron Rodgers is gonna play, and you just can't afford to waste him because our offensive line is terrible every year, and we saw it yesterday. We see it every game. I'm not saying that Zach played anywhere near great yesterday because he didn't. But to be fair, he had nothing to work with. He had no time. I think that's what a lot of it was too. And you can't put Aaron Rodgers behind this offensive line. You just can't.
You can't.
You got to
look at the Browns, man. Joe Flacco. What we're seeing right now out of Cleveland, that's kind of similar to what we saw Flacco in Baltimore before that last year that he was there. He was just crumbling. It's amazing what the Browns did, right? They solidified their offensive line the right way. Like, again, whoever you put back there, except for, like, the running quarterbacks don't work well with the Cleveland Browns. Those kind of quarterbacks would work well with the Jets. Like, for instance, had we had Deshaun Watson game one instead of Aaron Rodgers, he would have still been healthy right now because it's a different offensive line. They're very mobile. The one with Cleveland, they're very stationary. They perform a certain pocket. But again, the Jets just don't do things the right way. And that gives me agita, man. Like, yo, dude, at what point are you going to hit it right? You see all these other teams doing it the right way. And these are teams that sucked in the past, dude. Liam, freaking the Bengals. Come on, the Browns.
The Lions, the Jaguars.
The Lions, the Jaguars. They're passing us. Right? They can't even see us in the rear view mirror. It's done. Yeah, the Browns have the best O-line coach. Totally. Why not us? Why can't we get Bill Callahan? Why not?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, why? Because he was here before? Pay him. Like, get the strength and conditioning coach out of here as well. Is the turf that big of a deal? Is it? I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, it's just constant excuses. Then place it into grass. Put it into grass. Is that hard? No.
You know what the biggest problem with this team is? The biggest problem is they care so much about their perception. They care about what everybody sees and what everybody thinks of them. But meanwhile, what they don't realize is that everybody is laughing at them. Go on Twitter. They're getting burned. And they see it. But this has got to be the most stubborn coaching staff, the most stubborn owners in all of the NFL. Now, yes, that was Christopher Johnson back in 2020. Say what you want, but Woody is back now, and we all know that Woody is not afraid to make changes.
Right.
And I feel like we're obligated to say Robert Saleh is a nice guy. I like Robert Saleh. Like, I want him to be our guy. I really do. Like, I want him to be our coach. He just can't. He can't. And as much as I like Robert Saleh, I like Joe Douglas. I like the New York Jets more. As crazy as it sounds, I like the organization. I'm never going to change from this. You know, it's something has to get done. And we just got to just swallow our pride for once and be like, listen, we're going to do our best to do things the right way. If it works, it works. If not, then we're going to keep trying. Now, I understand they say, continuity. You can't fire a coach every 2 years. But you know what? You can't have bad continuity either. At Robert Saleh, 3 years he's had. You still haven't made the playoffs. You're not that CEO type head coach. What is all gas, no break? I don't understand what that means. This is his third year.
Just slogans.
Joe Douglas. Yes, that's all it is. It's just t-shirts. That's all it is. Just t-shirts. Joe Douglas, I like him too. But you know what? This is his fourth year, and things haven't gotten any better. I'm seeing a lot of 2020 just all over again.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy. I don't have a. Now, we floated out a couple head coaching options. I don't have a general manager option. I don't know if you do. I don't personally.
But, I mean, if you're going to go that route, I mean, maybe go to Dallas and see what their assistant GMs are. Because these players on the Dallas Cowboys, they're playmakers. They're like, who are these people? Can't go to Kansas City. Go to like winning football clubs and ask to just interview them. Because again, Joe Douglas came here and he started bringing old faces. Like, what's this guy's name? Rex Hogan. What are you doing? What are you doing bringing back failures? Constant. Yep. So if we're going to go that route, if we're going to start going and getting failures, bring back Rex. Bring him back. Yeah. Bring back Rex Ryan. You know what I mean? Bring him back. If that's the mentality. Something. Shit. Would you take him?
Rex Ryan back as head coach?
Yes. If push came to shove.
He got guys to play hard for him, and I don't think that they would be playing this way if he was here. So, yeah, I'd bring him back for a year or two.
It would have to be a really small pool. But, like, one of the things I didn't like about Rex was they were very undisciplined, too. I wouldn't – and one thing that really turned me off with Rex was that whole last game of the season. I get it. You want to win against your old team when he was the head coach of the Bills. But running off that field, fist pumping in the air, I didn't like that. I thought that was cheesy. Again, there's no professionalism.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Rex. He doesn't. I would like him as a defensive coordinator. I would like Wink Martindale as a defense coordinator because I think he's going to part ways with Dable with the Giants. Mm-hmm. Yes, personnel might be different, but dude, if you know how to drive a car, you know how to fucking drive a car, man.
That's the whole thing, and that's the thing too. It's like Rex was also very stubborn too. Everybody just like thinks of like Rex with the glory days, not realizing that was Eric Mangini's team. That was my childhood.
Yep. And
he was very undisciplined too. And I think if it was the right situation, he's not coming back. So, no way. But yeah, I would take Wink Martindale. Would you promote Ulbrich the head coach?
No. Dude, I want to I love that you bring that up because there is these whispers on a lot of Jet spaces where they're like with Ulbrich, I would say no. Because if you're going to clean house, you don't want any stench. And that kind of segues what I wanted to say it just gets on my nerves in certain spaces where they're like, all right, let's clean house, but let's bring Hackett back, but not as an offensive coordinator, but as like a quarterback coach. I don't want him anywhere near this organization. None whatsoever. That's why Rodgers, he has to have a hard look in the mirror, go into the darkness once again, try to revalue stuff because this is not going to work next year. You can't be buddy-buddy. You can't in this league with your players, with your coaches, with your GM. This is what you get because when you go down, the whole thing turns into chaos. They will not know what to do. God forbid Rodgers goes down next year. Do you trust the establishment to know what to do that time around?
Nope.
Who do we have? Gardner Minshew, who I would have loved, but look at how is our offensive line going to be? Strength and conditioning coach, is that going to be the same? That's why you got to really dig deep. Woody Johnson made this an enormous investment into Rodgers. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He's doing everything he can, but he's missing one thing, and that the big aspect is having a legit head coach. Go out, call Arians, man. Call him. Because keep something in mind. Now, I'm going to talk about a former Jets head coach that can't come back, but at his actual natural coordinator position. That might be Todd Bowles, because I don't think he survives in Tampa Bay. I wouldn't mind having Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator with the Jets, with Bruce Arians as a head coach. But with that being said, 2 years go by, I don't want Todd Bowles as a head coach. That's it. You clean house. It's you clean slate. Done deal. But again, we're talking hyperbole, right? The whole Super Bowl thing. But that was the whole purpose of signing Aaron Rodgers. Whole point of it is when I wear this 8, I don't want people thinking Browning Nagel. I want them thinking, oh, shit, that's a throwback Aaron Rodgers jersey. But the stench is always going to be there because it's the same old Jets. They continue to do boneheaded decisions constantly. Why? Learn. Dan Quinn? Why not? Well, why not?
I'd take him.
He was a head coach. He brought Atlanta to – dude, he brought Atlanta. Dude, to the Super Bowl. I hear you, Milk D. I think of this as Browning Nagel too. But I am going to promise you one thing. In the event that Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, no one will ever think this is Browning Nagel. Now, yeah, 100%. But I would not buy another jersey anymore. I'm done. Dude, I am done. The quality of jerseys that they're selling for $1.75 and it's not even stitched. All
I know.
Yep. Oh, get out of here. Yeah, no way. And they all feel like soccer jerseys. It's not like this material with the little holes in there. If like you're breathing, especially like that I'm obese.
Yeah, I have a Rodgers jersey, but other than that, I don't buy any current player jersey. I have a couple old school ones. I have a Revis, Sanchez, a couple. I'm sure you do too. We have a closet full of useless jerseys, though.
Dude, my whole wall here. My whole wall. It's all Jets plaque. I've never been surrounded with so many losers.
Yep.
You know what I
So
mean?
let me ask you this. So in the most likely event, this coaching staff is coming back next year. Aaron Rodgers will be here next year. What is the ceiling with Aaron Rodgers and this coaching staff?
What is this? That is a great question. I'm going to be very honest. Dead honest. And it's funny because, as you guys know, when we used to have our show, we had Trey Wingo on. And this was right before the injury and whatnot. No one got injured, nothing. And he said, they're not going to make the playoffs. And Joe and I, we were like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, they're not. I'm like, why? They're the Jets. So to answer your question, what is the ceiling? It's your typical Jets ceiling with Aaron Rodgers and this current head coaching staff that has no idea. They have no idea where their elbow is from their ass. No idea. Now, if you get a legitimate head coach and position coaches, then it's a whole new ballgame. Because then you're actually making a change for the right direction. Like the Cleveland Browns did. Like the Bengals did. Like the Detroit Lions did. That they are not accepting what was there before. We're doing shit different now. but not with our mouth, not with freaking shirts, all ass, no breaks. None of that bullshit. No. We're going out there. We're getting the right coaches. Every head coach is going to be focused on their positions with their players. And they're holding each and every one of them accountable. They're going to come to the head coach, and the head coach is going to have an idea. Oh, this player? Yeah, well, yeah, I saw him at practice too. And there's that's transparency where I'm pretty sure you remember when you see NFL films or whatnot. When Bill Belichick was under Parcells, do you know how many times Parcells would chew Belichick's ear off?
Yep.
Say, yo, Bill, what the fuck, man? Yo, this guy should have been here. None of this. Hey, Bill. All right, cool. Oh, no problem, Bill. Okay, no. None of that. Nah, if you're not doing what's going on, you're out too. Because if I don't hold my own coaches accountable, then the players are going to look at their own coaches as a joke. Oh, he's got my back. He's got my back. None of that. It has to be disciplined. How many offsides, how many waste, like the flags are just thrown everywhere. Enough is enough, man.
Yeah. That's the thing that really pisses me off too. It's you could see the undiscipline. I mean, Tony Adams yesterday, he had no reason to hit that Dolphins player. He had plenty of time to stop. And Robert Saleh always says, I don't get mad if they're playing physical. That's his problem. Robert Saleh doesn't get mad. I'm so convinced that when he was ripping into the offensive line on Hard Knocks, that was him just acting.
Yep. 100%.
Even with his coaching staff, with Aaron coming back and some money on the O-line and a decent backup quarterback, we could expect life for 17, maybe 18 weeks.
I could not disagree more, because I get what Milk Diaz is saying. I get it, but we're in fantasy land again as Jet fans, and I'm part of that shit too. I'm part of that too, because even last week I fell into the same trap. Being a Jet fan for over 35 years, same thing. Oh, if we win against Miami and then these other teams lose, we might increase our percentages of. Nah, you're gonna get what you're gonna get with this coaching staff with Aaron Rodgers. You're gonna get what you're gonna get. Are we gonna be alive week 17, week 16? I want to say yes. I want to agree, but I'm gonna say no. They're the Jets, because in no other organization, in no other outside world job and vocation is this acceptable. You can't just go in there and say, all right, you know what? You really suck at your job. But I know that you've been sick or whatever. Don't worry. Come back next year. You're going to be so much better. No, the company's losing money. Yeah, they're going to be looked upon as a joke. There's no consistency. It's bullshit. That's why, to me, Woody Johnson is going to make a change. He's going to make a change. There's no way that he goes into next season. He already looks like a complete dummy, asking for PSL's money. How do you do that?
Yep.
In October.
I know.
How do you do
that? And then put this product on the field on top of it.
Right.
Why?
Yes.
There's no. I almost fell into the trap. I don't know how many games you went to, but like you start going to a couple games a year, all of a sudden the ticket reps start calling you, and they're calling me at work, and they're calling me. And this is when the whole Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr saga was going on. And I said, I don't know. I said, give it a couple weeks. They called me back in a couple weeks. I said, I had really good seats. It was going to be under the overhang, and it was going to be $3,100 for two seats. A little pricey, but not bad. $1,500 a ticket. I'm like, I was really considering. I was going back and forth, and I said, you know what? One more year, and now we're here. I can't do it. I can't do it, and I don't think I ever will. Let me tell you, I'll tell you something else too. For the last 3 weeks, well, not yesterday, but the last 3 weeks before that, I was offered free field level tickets to every game. All I had to do was physically show up. The parking pass was handled. If I was going to drive, I would have had to pay for the train, obviously, if I didn't. I didn't go. I said no. I can't do it. If we were in it and we were playing and Rodgers there, and I would have. I've sat in the rain plenty of times. I sat in the monsoon on Thursday night last year. Week 1 against the Ravens, I sat in the rain for that. I've done my time sitting in the pouring rain. I would have done it, but That's how much I love this team. But yeah, you would have too. We all would have. I'm sure half the chat would have too. Vinny, I sat near Vinny. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I can't do it anymore, man. Like it's getting to the point where I'm starting to break.
Yeah, Liam, you're 100% right, man. Like honestly, who's to blame, right? Yes, we want to blame Woody, but if Woody brings back the same staff, the only ones to really blame is ourselves, is us as a fan base to show up at MetLife. They don't deserve that. If Saleh is the head coach next year, we shouldn't even show up to training camp. Like, dude, would you go into the same restaurant if they keep poisoning you?
Right.
You keep going back expecting filet mignon, but they keep giving you a filet piece of shit. But you keep saying, oh, this tastes garbage. Oh, my God, this is horrible. F you guys. And you leave and you come back the next day.
Same thing. It's the exact same thing.
I can't. And you know what? We can't expect mediocrity either. Like 8 and 9, 7 and 10. I get it if we're growing, right? But look at the Texans. The Texans just show you that it could change in just one offseason. If you get the right guy, the right head coach, accountability.
Coming from the same tree.
Same thing. Exactly.
He took Robert Saleh's job.
Dude. Absolutely.
Nothing's changed. And they have less talent than we do.
Dude, you don't even have to smoke weed to laugh at this team, dude. You don't even have to. You don't even have to smoke. It gets to a certain point, probably around the second quarter, that you just start laughing. Like yesterday, dude. Like, how much can you take in that Dolphins game? You're watching Quinnen Williams sacks Tua, does his dance, the waddle thing, and then the next drive, this dude throws a 60-yard bomb to the one that you just made fun of. Burnt DJ Reed. Like, come on, man. Where's the professionalism? Yeah, there's no issues in having fun. But, damn, this was a playoff game yesterday. And it's 2 years in a row. Last year, it was in the monsoon against the Jaguars. As horrible as the season took a bad turn, the season was still alive last year against the Jaguars. We would have won that one. We still would have had life. A huge egg. Yesterday, the season was still not over. I get it. The percentages weren't in our favor, but at least it was something to look forward to. We win this game. There's a possibility Rodgers comes back next week. Maybe we go on a run. Last game of the season against Belichick. We snap it. We go into the playoffs. Anything could happen once you're in the playoffs. Anything. They laid a physical egg. No points. Nothing. What an embarrassment. How do you bring that back? How do you bring that back? Yep. That's why, like, some fans are like, no, it's going to be different. No, it's going to be the same. Based off of what? Yep. Based off of what? Saleh can't coach. For those that don't understand where I'm going with this, Robert Saleh has no strategy. See, a head coach normally has a play sheet or is talking with the defense coordinator if they're defensive minded like Rex was. This is Saleh, dude. Dude, right out of a fucking genie bottle, dude. The whole entire game. The whole game. The most motion that you see with Saleh is running up and down the stairs before the game. That's it. And then he becomes one of us, a fan. 4th down sack, 3rd down sack.
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's why now I understand coaches like Belichick that don't show any emotion, Parcells, all these, Mike Holmgren. The most that you're going to get is like a fist pump like freaking John Gotti coming out of a fucking courthouse. That's it. Done. Over. But no. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's funny because my mom is not even a casual fan. She just kind of has to deal with football being on in the house, and she'll just sit in the living room and just kind of, play on her phone and like look up every now and then because it's just on every television in the house. and she could remember the Rex Ryan days, the Todd Bowles days, the Adam Gase days. She says to me not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, I think it was actually during the Chiefs game. She goes, "What does this coach do?" She goes, "He's the head coach." I said, "Yeah."
No.
She goes, "What does he do?" She goes, "I remember like she goes, like I said, every other coach." She goes, they had a play sheet in their hand, right?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What does he do?" I said, "I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what he does." And that's my honest answer. What does he do?
It's like watching The Ring. It's like watching The
Yeah.
Ring for 18 straight weeks. And no matter how bad your face discontorts, you keep watching that shit over and over. You're like, let me play this again. You know what I mean? It's not good. It's not healthy.
Yeah, no. And I'm so sick and tired of him getting upset at the refs. That's okay. Robert Saleh could, flip out on the refs. Why not hold any of your players accountable? Nobody's held accountable. There's no accountability. You take one player. I cut as much as I'm not a big Brian Dable fan. I like it when he gets up in Daniel Jones' face and he's yelling at him. You need that. That's a coach. That's disciplined. That monsoon game, every time that the Jets lose a big game, it always turns out to be like one of those historic losses. Like this is the egg game. We have the monsoon game. Like we always have these names for these games.
Right.
The Fail Mary game. And it's just, if you remember back to that monsoon game, Quincy Williams is walking around dressed as the Grinch. It was right before Christmas. Where are the business meetings? Where is, hey, listen, get your mind right, go put your headphones on, and go get ready to kick some ass. Like, we don't see that ever from this team.
The Mike White shirts.
Yes, that's a big one too.
Like, where is, and I get it. I'm not talking about people's feelings and this and that, but Zach Wilson, I'm not saying that this is the actual issue, why it kind of like broke him, but that's your teammate. That is your teammate. How do you feel when someone else is wearing your competition's shirt, Mike White? Yeah. Like, so how does that? All right, so Zach is going to get his chance, and he's like, all right, F them. That's why, like, if the report was true that Zach is like, I really don't want to go back out there. Let's look at it from a human being standpoint, a psychological one. Do you blame the kid? Do you blame him? Yes, he's making millions of dollars, but he also has to look out for his future as well. He already has more money than you and I will ever see for the next 9 generations, right?
Yep.
He wants to make sure that he's going to be healthy and he's going to be competing for, maybe at a chance at a backup for next year. Because what trade value, dude? Like, no one's going to trade for Zach Wilson.
I see. As crazy as it sounds, there's always going to be a coach out there that thinks that they could fix somebody. Not saying he's going to be a starter, but yeah, he'll go be a backup somewhere. I have no doubt about that. I don't know who. I don't know the team, but like I could see him like going to like the Ravens or something like that. And I wish him well. I want to see him. Like, I like Zach. Like, he sucks, and it's almost like I almost feel bad for him in a way, because like he does suck, and like he knows he sucks.
Yeah.
And it's probably just best for everybody to be like, listen, kid, another quarterback gone, another quarterback that we failed. You want to mention the Mike White shirts? If that's the case and the team really responded to Mike White, why'd you let him go? Why not keep him?
Whoa.
How much would that have cost you? But you know what? They've tried everything that they could to protect Zach, and that's not even Zach's fault. It's just they refuse to admit that they were wrong about the kid. So anybody that posed a threat to him, which is the whole reason why we never got a veteran backup quarterback, they keep saying, "Oh, Zach wasn't supposed to see the field." BS. He was supposed to see the field. If he was supposed to be a true redshirt, he wouldn't have been the second quarterback. A 40-year-old, he wouldn't be right behind, one play away from going in, like he was week 1.
Yep.
And then your answer was what? Trevor Siemian. Like, you wait a couple weeks, Trevor Siemian, and now it's Brett Rippon. There was 100% a plan for him to play this year.
100%.
And it was just the narrative that, he wasn't supposed to play, but look at him, he's coming in and he's really lighting it up.
Right.
No, like, that's not what happened, but like, that's the story that they wanted to play out. If you see that the team was responding to Mike White, you should have never let him go in the first place. I like Mike White. My personal opinion.
Dude, I was on that train for the longest. I'm like, All right, you're going into the season with a 39-year-old quarterback. You need a legit backup. No, it's going to be way too much money. All of a sudden, fans are looking at the financials of the team. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm a fan of the team. I don't care about that bank account.
Nope.
I don't care because now we're like, we should have got a backup. Right, hindsight. But damn, for those that know football, that have been Jet fans for the longest, you know that history sometimes repeats itself as it did. When Vinny went down in 99, had we had a viable backup quarterback, we would have won the Super Bowl. Yes. Had Parcells gone to Ray Lucas instead of going to Rick Meyer, we would have won the Super Bowl. But now they put all their eggs in Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson. Like, I understand the fact if you wanted to salvage Zach, you don't put him as a backup. You put him as a third stringer. You would have gotten Gardner Minshew or one of the Dobbs, whatever the case is, as a backup. Legit. Not Tim Boyles. Like, What did Tim Boyles bring to the table? What did he bring? Nothing.
He's never won an NFL game.
But that's the thing. Like, we don't even have to go into that logistic if you think about it. What did he bring to the New York Jets in that quarterback room? How did he help Zach? How did he help Aaron Rodgers? He didn't do nothing. He didn't contribute shit. And then all of a sudden, he gets cut and we get Brett Rippon. Like, if that's the mindset, you should have signed Brett Rippon in the offseason. And it would have been Rodgers, Rippon, and Zach. Done.
Yep.
If you knew that Zach was still fragile, he had to be reset. But now this team does shit the wrong way over and over, dude. Over. Yep. And it's like, at what point will this team, this owner say, we're done? It's over. This experiment with Saleh and Joe Douglas, whatever the case is, we got to go out and get someone legit to salvage this thing, at least to give us a Super Bowl. Oh.
And Elmo's right here. It's arrogance and incompetence. That's exactly what it is. You're 100% right, Elmo. It really is. Somebody needs to speak. Somebody needs to speak. And not only that, if you remember, like, we had Carson, and I'm not saying we should have signed Colin Kaepernick.
Yes,
but we had Kaepernick, we had Carson Wentz. Teams writing to the New York Jets, hey, can I at least come in for a tryout? That doesn't mean you have to sign them anything. Just, hey, can I come work out with you guys for a day or two? Just maybe see what I got. Sure. They're so incompetent that they wouldn't even allow guys to come in.
Right.
They wouldn't even allow guys, anybody can, I could go work at your job tomorrow. Hey, can I come?
Right.
I'm an electrician. We have guys do that every now and then. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. You don't have to sign everybody. But are you really that cocky and that incompetent and that arrogant to be like, no, we're good. We got Zach Wilson. Remember the guy that we were a quarterback away last year? That guy, yeah, he's back. Remember the guy, every guy that was better than him? Yeah, got rid of them. We don't need him. Right. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. And it
is. I mean, there has to be a breaking point with this franchise. And it starts right, because that's the bullshit, right? Like, we got Aaron Rodgers here, and it's time right now to act. Right now. Like, this is as close as it gets for the New York Jets to become anywhere near Super Bowl contenders right now. Yep. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have your franchise quarterback. You will have a legit defense. I get it that these guys put 30 points on the board, but what can they do? Dude, they can't even freaking have a 5-minute break. They can't.
No, I know.
At what point?
It feels like the offense is never on the field and the defense never gets off the field. And I don't blame them. I'd be mailing it in too. I don't blame them. Like, yeah, they gave up 30 points. Are they not allowed to have a bad couple games? Dude, what is the reason for playing? Your offense gives you nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
The offense. The offense is that kid in class that gets an A on the project that did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason that they stayed alive as long as they did.
That's why this offseason has to be historic for the Jets. You have to clean house. You got to get a competent head coach. Go out to Ann Arbor. Go to Jim Harbaugh. Open up your check, whatever your price is. We need to win a Super Bowl. You're going to have a role in getting players in here as well, Jim. You're going to work alongside with Joe. The final say. Who has the final say at that point? Who has the final say? Joe handles.
It would have to be Harbaugh.
Joe handles the financials. Joe and Jim does the final say, because that's why you're bringing in a head coach. You're bringing that guy in to win you a Super Bowl. Think about it this way, and I get it that Trent Balk was with the Niners and whatnot. So many people forget how bad of a team the Niners were when Harbaugh took over. Alex Smith was on the verge of being one of the biggest busts in NFL history as a first overall draft pick. Enormous. People forget about his tenure when Mike Singletary was there as a head coach. Horrible. Singletary was calling him out. In 1 year, he brought him to the NFC Championship game with that defense that he had. Again, he walked into that certain defense with Patrick Willis.
Yep.
Navarro Bowman. He would be walking into the same situation with the Jets with a better quarterback. Let him cook. Now you have your head coach, legit. Have a monumental offseason. Fortify your offensive line. Lakin Tomlinson, ship his ass out of here. Gone. Done. Out. Get your Zeitler in here. Draft an alt, whatever the case is. This offensive line has to be built the same way how it was built for the Denver Broncos with Peyton and how it was built with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if we want to replicate that success, if we want to be Super Bowl champions. Things can change in 1 year, Liam. In 1 year, yep. We could be talking right now, December 18th, and saying, shit, dude, we got a first-round bye. We're the best team. It can happen. But again, it starts with Woody Johnson making the right call.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Dan. And I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I mean, I will even said that here. He'll never pay for a real head coach. I don't see it ever happening. We're going to keep trying these first-time head coaches and this and that. I don't know, man. I would love to see it change. Elmo says it. Oh, another 6 years. I mean, Elmo says it right here too. I mean, I take Tomlin too.
Dude, if we get Tomlin, oh my God, man. What Tomlin would do, because again, keep in mind, Tomlin inherited Roethlisberger. He didn't have to draft a quarterback. He didn't have to do nothing like that. He inherited him, but it was exactly what that franchise needed for that continuity from going from Cowher to Tomlin. Tomlin would be a beast of a head coach. This team would be playing hard. Even now, even if they're out or whatnot, they would really be playing hard because their jobs would be on the line. And their resume as well. Because Tomlin's signature weighs heavy as well when these players go to other teams. Players would want to come here. And again, I don't know where that rumor is. Elmo, maybe you could fill me in, but because I heard that this morning with one of the guys from the Spaces, Sack Exchange and whatnot. He also said that there's rumblings with Tomlin. I don't see it.
I think what it is just because they haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years. I think that's what it's coming down to. Like they're starting to get sick of it. And they're not. I don't even think that they're in playoff contention, are they?
I think they are. I want to see how long has it been that
I think
Tomlin's in there.
He's been in since 06, I believe. 06, 07.
Oh, shit. Wow.
It's been a long time.
07. Wow, dude. Holy shit. You're right.
And they only have one Super Bowl, and things are a little shaky. I don't know. It's just not the Pittsburgh Steelers that everyone's used to seeing, I guess.
Brought him to
I would take him in a heartbeat.
Isn't that crazy? He brought him to 2 Super Bowls.
That's picked up right where Cowher left off.
Yeah, man. Wow, that would be something.
What I would pay to do to get Cowher in here. I was afraid of him as a little kid. I really was. I remember
Yeah.
Because and that's what this team that's what this team needs. It really needs somebody to just kick him in the ass and say, "Let's go." There's a lot of talent on this team, man.
This year.
At least we think.
Note D says you would keep the special teams. Get them all out of here. Get them all out of here. Like enough of he's no Westhoff. Like get clean house, like top to bottom, clean house. When Parcells took over here, he didn't keep other coaches out. It didn't work. What did Boyer do? What honestly? Answer me this. Besides that Gibson return for a touchdown, what did he do?
And that's not even scheme. He just got lucky, really. That's not lucky. A beautiful play call.
No, definitely. Look, against the Chargers, a shit team now, who they beat us by what, 3 touchdowns, and then they fired their head coach. At least they got more balls than us, man. They fired the GM and their head coach.
Yep.
And that's where the game was out of reach, if you think about it, after that special teams run back for a touchdown on Monday night. Yep. We all know that once a team is up by 7, it's a wrap. It's done.
Yeah.
How do you see the Jets winning another game this season, Liam? Do you see them winning another game?
No, I don't see Zach Wilson playing again either this year.
No,
I don't see. I think it's just going to be Simeon the rest of the way. The only, like I said earlier, the only team that I hope we beat is the New England Patriots. That's the only team I want to beat. Other than that, I don't even care anymore, dude. And I've never been at that point. I put on the game, like I don't clap, I don't get upset. I just kind of watch, and I'm numb at this point, dude. My dad, he's 55, 56 years old. He wasn't excited about this Rodgers thing all year. He goes, just show me. He goes, when they start winning, I'll buy in.
I agree.
Man. I asked him, his birthday was in November. I said, you want a jersey? No, I don't. I said, okay. He goes, don't get me anything Jets for Christmas, please. He's a diehard Ranger fan. He's a diehard Jet fan, too. He's just sick of it. You could test to that. You know, a lot of guys in the tech. I can. I'm at the point now, you know, it's like I was in 6th grade the last time that the team was relevant.
Right.
I was in 10th grade when they had Fitzpatrick a couple years ago, and nobody expected anything from that, but it's just.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. It's some wild stuff, man. No, dude, our predecessors are way smarter than us, man. Like they know how to separate. They're like, all right, enough is enough. Like, I know a lot of them, they're like, they don't even watch anymore. They'll watch like a quarter and then they move on. They're like, all right, I'm not going to waste my Sunday like this. I'm not. And it's been hard for me. I'm not going to lie to you. There's been a lot of times where I'm like, I want to get out of here. It's like a jail cell that I continue to come back in and lock the door from the inside and scream, I can't get out. Like, that's how bad it is as a Jet fan. I'm watching yesterday again with that, maybe if we could string up some yards but this is the funny thing, right? So let's say the roles were reversed and the Dolphins were in the position that we are and we were with the Dolphins. I shit you not, we would have lost that game. Because that's what happens. We were lost. You know, Mel D, I get it. We watch every second. You know,
and then I come on here and I talk about the Jets, and then I find other sickos like me and you that like we still want to talk about this. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're so passionate, man.
Right, but that's a good thing. Like, this is the good thing, and it's good psychologically. It's good for mental health to talk about these shits. It's like a freaking psychological session. Like, you know, we don't have to pay top dollar, like $300 an hour. We're just talking about it. And everyone that's on that chat is also venting because this is not right. Like, we want to see something huge. Dude, you imagine the day that we're on the AFC Championship game and we just win that? Like, just that alone.
We wouldn't even know what to do. We wouldn't know what to do.
And I hate to say it because I know that there's going to be a lot of different responses here, but if we would ever win that AFC Championship game, that would be it. Because we've never seen it. We're like, we're going to the Super Bowl. That's it. Wow, this is amazing. Like, what do we do? Like, you know, like immediately we would rub one out. But then we're like, all right, what else is there to do? And then let's say if we lose the Super Bowl, we're like, all right, you know what? We got it this far, maybe next year, and then another freaking 40 more years to go. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Sorry, kids, it's your problem now. I don't know, man. I wouldn't know what to do. Like, do I go to work the next day? Do I stay home? I'll tell you, dude. Like, I was so upset when Rodgers went down. I didn't go to work the next day. I swear to God, I stayed up. I was at the game. It took me 4 hours to get there. Like, this is like I bleed green and white. I walk in as Rodgers is standing up and sits down, and then next thing you know, he's like getting carted off. What the hell's going on? I didn't get home until like 4 in the morning. There's a video on the channel of me at like 4 in the morning. I'm like half asleep. I'm like just sitting there like this, like just what do the football gods want from us now? And this, I don't know, man. It's just it sucks because we're so passionate and I'm just so sick. You know, I go to Dick's the other day. Like I'm doing like all my Christmas shopping a week or two ago. I had my Rodgers jersey on. I got the freaking cashier making fun of me, man. The cashier at Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm like, really? He goes, I'll take you because I feel bad for you.
Oh shit!
I'm like, no, you're gonna make your $15 an hour and take me because I tell you to. But you know, like I didn't want to go down that route. But I'm like, all right, like, now you're trying to beat it. It's ridiculous, man. It really is. Like it. All kidding aside, it really is, man. I don't.
Man. It's so sad, man. You know, it's insanity. I mean, we had some takes before the season, you know, on that Jets Turbulence show that came to fruition. Becton and then Quinnen Williams, where a lot of people might get upset. But what has he done? What has Quinnen Williams done? We're paying all that money for 2.5 sacks. 2.5. Oh, no, it's the quarterback pressures. You know, there's more into it. Dude, you are paying this guy close to what you're paying Donald. We're expecting at least an average of 8 sacks a year. No, he's doing the dirty work. Yo, it's like paying a nurse 3 times more than the doctor that she's under. And I'm not talking about like what they do on their lunchtime. Like, dude, that's way more money than expected, dude. Like, you got to show up, man. You got to show up. Don't say, oh, you know, Huff is having his career year because of Quinnen. Nah, dude, come on, man. Yo, look at the guy that was just inducted into the Hall of Fame. Freaking Klecko. He triple teamed him. Freaking, you know, a stud in 3 different positions. He still went after the quarterback, always averaging 9 sacks a game. Quinnen, he got paid. Joe and I said it. We said it. The moment he gets paid, it's going to turn into a pumpkin, just like Muhammad Wilkerson. Oh, no, don't compare him with that. That's what's going on these days, man. You pay a player, it's a wrap. You could have franchised him, tagged him. You could have done something else. It's over. But let him get quadruple teamed. Yeah, he's cool, but he's getting paid big bucks to be the difference maker on that defensive line. You can like him all you want, but he's getting paid Aaron Donald money so close. He could be balling later. Come on, man. Like, I'm hoping that next year.
What is balling? What is balling?
What is it? What is balling? Great question. Great question.
I don't know what it means. And
he's
I like
going to work. He's going. Yo, Liam, you're going to work every day, right?
Yeah, we're balling, man.
We're fucking balling. We're fucking.
But you know what? Like, I'm an electrician. Like, you know, if somebody's outlets aren't working, I can't say, hey, you know, like, you're gonna give me $900. I'm gonna fix, and then it's not fixing. Be like, oh well, you know, try somebody else.
Right.
No,
exactly.
I just wouldn't get paid. It doesn't work that way. And then eventually I'd be fired. Yes,
exactly. 100%.
You know, it's funny. I have a baby cousin. She was born in August, and I remember after we all went to my aunt's house for the Dallas Cowboys game, and she had a little mini, not mini skirt, but like a little jet skirt.
Yep.
And I said, don't do this to her. Please don't do this to her. You know, so Elmo, you know, I feel that pain too. But bro, when the quarterbacks are getting the ball out in less than 3 seconds and you're getting double and tripled, come on, man, you're out of your minds.
The excuses for Quinnen is wild, man. Look, it's year 1 in his contract, Fine. Next year, when you have, I'm hoping, a head coach that holds their players accountable, I think we're going to see a much better version of Quinnen Williams. I think. But when you know that your employer is going to give you Sundays off, if you get double teamed, that means you could just, all right, it is what it is. I got double teamed. I don't really have to push that triple team. I'm done, or 1-on-1, whatever. Salah's not going to yell at me.
Nope.
Not going to yell at me. Nope. I push someone roughing the passer. This and that. Not going to do it. Come on, man. No. Mm-mm.
I understand. See, sacks aren't everything, but it's the main thing that defensive linemen are evaluated on. The same thing. Touchdowns aren't everything, but it's the main thing that the quarterback is evaluated on. You can have 1 million first downs, but if you don't have the touchdowns.
No, we're talking about what's going on with Quinnen after he got paid. He's supposed to be a difference maker. That's the big problem. He's not a baller. I don't want to hear that shit. As a fan, I want to see him be disruptive. Not 1 or 2 plays a game. Constant. Where I want to hear the announcer's name, announce his name consistently. There goes Quinnen again. There goes Quinnen. I heard him last year. This year, once every other game. To me, it's you know what? Once you get a legit head coach, they're going to bring that potential back. They're going to harness what Quinnen Williams really has, which was last year, and they're going to promote it. And I think you'll see that. Now, I get it. See, you have a lot of Quinnen Williams truthers. I get it. I know it's like treading on thin ice. I understand. But you're looking at 2.5 sacks. How many sacks did he have last year?
12.
Put it up on the chat. Milk D. Put it up on the chat.
Yep.
How many sacks did he have last year? But no, we continue to make excuses for Quinnen Williams, for Becton. Who else? For Robert Saleh, for Joe Douglas. That's why this is not even a fraction. 12 sacks.
To 2.5.
But he's a baller. He's a baller, though. He's the least of our concerns. No, he's a major part now because he's taken up a big chunk of that salary cap. Now, I can't touch Quinnen. He's a hard worker. Get a legit head coach in here, and you're going to see those 12 sacks. You're going to see it. But when you're working for someone that doesn't hold you accountable.
Yeah. That's when you get better. That's when you get better. It's called coaching.
Shit. It's all coaching, man.
Yep.
So look at what Sean did with Russell Wilson. He brought him back to life.
Yeah, he brought that whole team back to life. They were supposed to be the laughing stocks of the NFL this year. And yeah, it was a rough couple weeks, but you know what? They're balling, they're playing. They have a real NFL head coach in Sean Payton that's not afraid to speak his mind. I don't really like him because I think he's personally an asshole, but I would take him on the Jets in a heartbeat.
No, Milk D. You're just we've heard this narrative before, and I get it. I struck a nerve. Good for that. This is part of this discussion as Jets fans because you continue to make excuses for a guy that did 12 sacks last year and turned the knob down because he got paid and he has a head coach that doesn't say, all right, dude, we need you here. This is an important drive here. We need you. They don't talk to him. I'm not saying Quinnen Williams sucks, dude. He's an excellent player, one of the best at his position. But he turned it down this year because there's no coach that will get into his ear and say, dude, what are we paying you for? Get it going. There's a lot of money invested in him. It's not, you sound like a dick. 2.5 sacks this year compared to 12 last year. And you're defending him. Be honest and be real.
Yep.
Wow, man. Like, it's amazing. In the offseason, we said something, Joe and I, about Mekhi Becton. Stop taking selfies. Get in tune with your teammates. Do things. Have a camaraderie. No, what are you talking about? Becton is the best. This and that. Turnstile. We called out Quinnen. Oh, this is crazy. Who has not turned the knob down, and he's the least of our he is.
I'd be cool with 6.5 right now. I'd take that. I think his floor should have been 8.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. 8 sacks.
7 sacks. Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm fine with that. But to just dismiss Quinnen Williams, at what point? Hold on a second. Hold on. Mike D. Let's say next year, same Salah, whatever. And at this point next year, Quinnen Williams has 1 sack. Would your tune change or not? Or would you still say that he's a baller? Answer that question. Let's see what you would say. Because again, these truthers, like, we're trying to win a Super Bowl here, but we can't do it with the people that are in charge right now. They're not going to call people out. They're not.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Elmo brings up a great point. The last time that he had a sack was, what was it, like 3 weeks ago? He was at 1.5. He accumulated to 2 yesterday, where he did that dance, where he started getting all that look at me kind of shit. And then what happened? Right down Quinnen Williams' throat.
It's just like when you just bought a $100,000 car and you were driving a Toyota Corolla, and now this brand new car isn't starting for you. Mm-hmm. You paid all that money, but it's okay. It's still, look, I'm still driving a really nice car. I'm still driving a BMW, a Benz, whatever. I agree with you, Dan. I like Quinnen Williams. I don't want to get rid of him. I'm glad he's still a Jet.
That's the thing. I think there's a misunderstanding with this, and that's why a lot of people get upset with that narrative. It's not that we hate Quinnen Williams or we hate the contract. We just want you to live up to that contract every year. It's not chump change.
Yeah, you showed you can do it.
Fucking A, man. You hit it right out of the park. Exactly. You showed that you could do that shit. But is it Quinnen Williams' fault? Is it his fault? I don't think so. Okay, 1 sack. Was he hurt? Oh,
does he have any interceptions? Does that have any fumble recoveries? How many tackles does he have next year with 1 sack? Well, let's go off of his production from this year. How many fumbles recovery does he have this year? How many tackles does he have this year?
Yeah, put Elmo up there. Elmo just answered Mike D right there.
I'm tired of people saying things are okay. No, we are paying big money for what? Underachieving? Fuck that. Play what you're paid.
Devontae Adams. He's getting paid mad money. Mad money, right? Oh, but they're not throwing it to him. Not throwing it to him. Dude, what we're saying is, what Quinnen is, we love him. We love the guy. But at what point? No. We want sacks. Game changers. Strip sacks. A player of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, man. We're getting away from the main point of why he got selected. Mosley's on his way out. He did everything he could.
He has 33 solo tackles.
Wow. Huge. Enormous. How many sacks does he have?
3.5 right now.
He's at 3.5?
3.5 sacks.
Oh, shit. All right. He went from 2.5 to 3.5. Changed my mind.
Yeah, he had one yesterday.
I thought that was 2.
You should be talking about Mosley with his money. CJ Mosley restructured his contract. Listen, CJ Mosley knew that this was a big year and we needed to move some money around. Not for nothing, Quinnen Williams took the sit-out role. CJ Mosley, being a veteran leader who really wants to win a Super Bowl on the tail end of his career, he moved some of his money into 2024 and 2025. He restructured his contract more than once for the New York Jets. I'm not a big fan of this whole sitting out thing. You're still
Right.
under contract. You have one good season.
Fucking A, man. Elmo, he's nailing it. You don't get paid this amount of money for how many tackles you've gotten. When you're in negotiations, sacks weigh more than tackles when you want the money that you want. Look, I had like 100 tackles or whatnot. Yeah, if you're a linebacker, I get it. Williams proved that he can get to the quarterback. That's not the issue here. The issue is that he turned it down. He turned it down. And it's not his fault that he did that, because of the environment that he's in. It's not conducive to productivity because they're not going to hold him accountable. And it's the whole defense as a whole. When DJ Reed got burnt yesterday, wouldn't you want Saleh to go up to him and talk to him? Like, yo, dude, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Was there a move that he did? Maybe we could work on it in game, or you know what, DJ, it's not your game this week. It's not for you. Go on the other side. I'm going to have Sauce Gardner on Waddle the entire game. Nah, Saleh didn't do that. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a perfect storm where when you don't have the right leadership, everyone fails, even Quinnen.
Yep.
I can tell you right off the bat, once we have a legitimate head coach in here, like a Jim Harbaugh, I'm going to bank it, and I'll bet you anything, Milk D. If we have Jim Harbaugh here next year, Williams is going to have 15 sacks. 15 sacks. You'll see what a legitimate head coach can do. It's not Quinnen Williams.
We want him to succeed.
Same thing. Like yesterday, it wasn't DJ Reed's game. It wasn't. Tyreek Hill was out of the game. He was out. It was done. He was done.
Yep.
How do you not put your best corner on their best wide receiver? I get it once in a while you switch off, but it was the whole game. But Saleh is so afraid of saying to a player, it's not for you. Not this game. Trust me. I'm going to put somebody. Nah, because he's buddy-buddy. A head coach can't be buddy-buddy.
But on the other hand, who is Saleh to discipline when he's not doing his job either?
So you're saying, I'm sorry, but there will be no legit head coach. How do you know that? So you're under the assumption. I'm not targeting you or anything. It's just that I hear it. I hear it from different Jet fans that the whole crew's coming back next year. Are you with that? Like Milk D. Sorry for making it all about you, but you think that the whole gang is coming back next year? No problem. Yes or no?
Oh, he's getting mad now.
Well, yeah. I'm telling you, when you talk bad about Quinnen Williams, and it's not like saying something bad, it's just saying the legit facts that he turned it down this year. He did. No, I'm not with them coming back. So who's going to be the head coach of the New York Jets?
Yeah,
he did. He absolutely did.
He sure did.
Rex absolutely did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And not only, I mean, we're being nice and respectful. We got a-holes. He's calling you a dickhead. So
that's all right. It's at this point, it sounds like a compliment. What my boss calls me. So
like Joe used to say, that's a Tuesday night in my house. The next jerk off.
Nice. I'm with it. Jerk. Okay, why not, man? We're here, a couple of beers. We're gonna take this shit too serious, man. Listen, it's the Jets. They're fucking millionaires. We're here. We're two dudes just talking about the Jets, just shooting the shit. You think they're thinking about Sunday? They ain't thinking about Sunday. They're thinking about, hopefully they're
shining their golf clubs.
Charges. Yeah, that's it. They don't give a shit. Quinnen couldn't care less. It was 3.5 sacks.
Nope. But
That's
Dan,
what
I
it
want to
was.
thank you for joining us for as long as you have. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man. I appreciate
I think
it.
we all needed this. Thank you guys. Milk D, Elmo, Vinny was in the chat, Matthias, GVH, everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for chiming in. Well, yeah. All right, I'm not getting into this again.
Nah, it's all good.
Agree
But
to
listen,
disagree. Yeah,
dude, thank you so much for having me on, man. I appreciate it, man. Go Jets. We all want the best for this club. We want to get into a position where we're getting hyped up and we're flying to wherever the next venue is, where the Super Bowl is going to be held. And they say, and you're AFC champions, New York Jets. That's what we want. We get into heated discussions because we love this team. We've been fans for some of us over 40 years, over 50 years, whatever the case is. We love this team.
Yeah. We all want the same thing.
And it's all in good fun. Like Milk D, dude, it's
look it up, dude. I'm sure you have a phone too.
Right? We'll see, Elmo. We'll see. We hope so. Anyway, Liam, thank you so much, man. And awesome. You knocked it out of the park. Have a great Christmas, you and the fam, man.
You too, man. You're invited back on anytime you want. Happy holidays, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, later. All right.
All done?
No, I'll wrap it up here. I thought I was. I'm still reading a couple comments here. No, you're good. You're good. So, all right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. We went on a little longer than usual. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Everybody have a good night. Follow everything NYJ. Do I even have it in here? This is all Gino stuff or Italy Jet. Here we go. Follow everything NYJ on all these social media platforms at everything NYJ. You could follow me right here on Instagram at official Liam Johnson. Italy Jet, who is unable to join us tonight, follow him on all of these social media platforms. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk Jets soon.